The year was 1856, and the Central American region was embroiled in a brutal conflict. A notorious American mercenary, William Walker, had come to Nicaragua with a private army of filibusters, intent on establishing a new slave state in Central America. After a few initial victories, Walker and his band of men soon found themselves being chased by the coalition of Central American armies, including those of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Honduras. In the midst of this chaotic war, the Second Battle of Rivas took place, a moment that would come to be seen as a turning point in the struggle against Walker and his ruthless ways. The battle began on April 11th, with the coalition forces establishing their position on the banks of the San Juan River, which marked the border between Nicaragua and Costa Rica. They had decided to make a stand in the town of Rivas, a strategically important location that lay at the crossroads of two major roads. On the morning of the battle, the coalition soldiers were roused from their sleep by the sound of trumpets blaring in the distance. They knew that the filibuster army, led by Walker himself, was approaching, and so they began to prepare for battle, with soldiers donning their armor, sharpening their swords, and loading their rifles. Some of the soldiers prayed, while others simply tried to steel themselves for what was to come. As the sun rose over the hills, the two armies finally met on the field of battle. The coalition forces numbered around 1,200 men, while Walker's army consisted of only 300. Despite being outnumbered, however, the filibusters fought fiercely, charging into battle with a ferocity that surprised their opponents. The coalition soldiers, initially taken aback by the enemy's tenacity, soon rallied and began to push back against Walker's forces. The battle raged on for hours, with no clear winner emerging. Men fell on both sides, screaming and calling out for help. The ground was slick with blood, and the air was thick with smoke and gunpowder. Then, a turning point in the battle occurred. A group of Costa Rican soldiers, led by the brave General Juan Santamaria, stormed the enemy's stronghold, setting fire to the building that held the filibusters' ammunition. The explosion that followed left a massive hole in Walker's defenses, and his army quickly began to falter. Despite valiant efforts by his men, Walker saw that the battle was lost. He mounted his horse and fled the field, desperate to escape the coalition forces that were closing in on him. With their leader gone, the filibusters' morale plummeted. They began to retreat, stumbling and falling over each other in their haste to get away. The coalition forces chased after them, firing their weapons and shouting triumphantly. Finally, the battle ended, and the coalition soldiers emerged victorious. They had driven back the filibuster army, sending them fleeing into the wilderness. The town of Rivas, which had been the site of so much bloodshed, was now firmly in the hands of the Central American coalition. But the victory had come at a terrible cost. Dozens of soldiers had been killed, and many more were wounded. Families would mourn the loss of their loved ones for years to come. Despite this, however, the Second Battle of Rivas was seen as a crucial turning point in the struggle against Walker and his mercenary army. It showed that a united front of Central American armies could work together to defeat a common enemy, and sent a message to Walker and other would-be invaders that their efforts to establish their own states in the region would not be tolerated. Years later, in the aftermath of the battle, the heroic actions of men like Juan Santamaria would be remembered fondly. They had risked everything to defend their homeland, and had emerged victorious in the face of great odds. And even today, the Second Battle of Rivas stands as a powerful symbol of the resilience and courage of Central American people in the face of adversity. It is a moment that will be remembered for generations to come. A testament to the indomitable spirit of those who fought and died to defend their homes and their way of life.